Welcome to a special edition of your favorite current affairs show, The Point of View. We're on Citi Television. Tonight we have a special show for you, giving you the highlights of a journey we've embarked on in middle of October when Citi FM and Citi TV began to ask for relief support for victims of the dam spillage. Initially for Lower Volta, it's become a national campaign. I have a very interesting view for you tonight where we'll be telling you what we've done in the rebuild phase. We are putting up structures in some communities, and we are building a community in a very interesting approach to solving the displacement. We'll be right back with more details. Stay with us. Welcome back. So Citi FM and Citi TV have been embarking on a relief campaign for victims of flood spillage, initially in Lower Volta. It's become a national campaign. The campaign has three parts. There's the relief component, which has seen us deliver relief items to over 22 constituencies, spanning from Ketu South in the south all the way to the Savannah region, where we've sent relief items to the Gonja district and also the Yape-Kusau district. We've also done medical relief for some communities where we took teams of doctors to communities to provide them help. But the team has also been involved in the rebuild, which is putting up settlements, dormitories, and now a community for some areas. We'll be talking about that throughout tonight's show and showing you visually what we've done since the campaign started. So I have in studio Samuel Atamensa. He's the CEO of the company who's been at the forefront of the campaign, particularly the rebuild phase. We call him Samens. Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Thank you.
Later on, I'll be speaking also to the head of Geoinformatics Division of CSIR BRRI, who are partnering us on very important parts of the rebuild phase, architect Dr. Joseph A.J. Dankwa. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
My pleasure having you. And then our graduate architect who's been working on all the rebuild projects, Alfred Grant. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Bernard.
So, Samens, I think it's important to point out to viewers the journey. Overview quickly. So, middle of October, we went on air to say people have been affected, people come and support us. At that stage, we didn't know we were going to build any house.
Not at all. Housing was never part of it at all. Indeed, this wouldn't be the first time as an organization we've made such interventions, supporting people who are underprivileged or people who are in distress. And so it was one of those things that we woke up to and felt the need as part of the community to intervene with the help of our listeners and then the general community at large. And so that's what we set out doing. But as fate will have it, our experiences through the intervention opened us up to different realities, which realities will get us to the point of building as another way of intervening in the crisis. So that's where we are.
I think the trip to Topo was what opened this up. I remember we went with a DHL truck to the community from Asuchari, and we're never getting to the place. And then we got to a river that we had to cross. And some people say they wouldn't cross the river. Just walk me through the Topo experience and how that convinced you that beyond the relief, we needed to build something.
Okay, so we had set out from Accra to actually go to Asuchari. The destination was Asuchari.
Okay.
And it was only when we got to Asuchari that we got wind of another community called Topo, which had a lot of the people who had been displaced at one place. And so upon reaching Asuchari on that, it was late afternoon, almost 4 or 5 p.m., we decided that we will still go to Topo and then see how the place looked like. Actually, when we were going, we were ready for, we had enough for more than one community. So we took a decision that, okay, let's move the other truck to Topo. And that took us from Esuchari Junction to Topo, we spent almost 3 hours.
Because from Esuchari Junction to Esuchari itself was a long drive.
Yeah, the road very bad.
And then we used a route through some of the irrigated farms.
Yeah, actually, we because we're not too familiar with the area, we stuck by the irrigation channel. So we drove along the channel of the irrigation all the way till we met the Volta Lake or the Volta River,
which had overrun one of the bridges.
Yes.
So now we had to drive through the river.
Drive through the river. I mean, we wanted to return.
I wanted to go home.
Well, we all wanted to return, and really, upon seeing the thing, your senses will tell you that it's not safe to drive. Until while we were contemplating, we saw some of the local drivers driving through freely with buses, just driving through. And so we thought that, well, there was hope. And so I decided to try, so that if I go, then the rest can go back home. But so I did that, and then you all followed, and we managed to get to Topo nicely.
We got there in the evening, and I remember about 250 people met us. They had been waiting since morning.
That's correct.
And then we saw, initially Umaru Sanda had done a report on Topo, but seeing windowless classroom, no doors, and people sleeping without mosquito nets on the bare floor, which was not even properly paved.
Yes.
I don't know what that made to you, but that was just crazy for me.
Yeah, the thing is, we all didn't know what to expect. Okay, now you get in the community, even the school building, the so-called school building itself, technically is incomplete because it didn't have plastering. It hadn't been plastered. So bare block work, and then the floor hasn't been, what do you call it? The smooth one. It was just screeding. They hadn't polished the floor, nothing. They were just, they just lay across bazaar like that. No windows, no doors. And they were all cramped up. Children, mothers, grandmothers, all.
And they had come from a community that had been flooded and been moved to that area.
Yes.
So this was where they were being camped.
Yes.
But it was not likely that they were going to go back to that.
Well, they said that it would be difficult. It would take a while if they have to.
Okay.
And even if they did, not everybody can recover their buildings, especially those who lived in mud houses, because those practically had been swept off. So
at what point did we decide that we will put up a building for the people of Topo?
So we had an engagement with them, and the assemblyman was very helpful. He actually gave us the idea that, look, so the thing is, what do you need? He said, look, we want a place to house these people, because now, because of what has happened, we've had to suspend the school. And so the children, everybody, and the school was a community school, not just for Topo, was for the surrounding villages as well.
Jokpo, Abuvienu, and all those towns in the area.
Which meant that everybody else has been affected. Life is on hold. So that informed us that we needed that kind of intervention. If we can quickly put that thing together, a house together, a dormitory style, which is more decent, to keep them while they sort themselves out, I think it will be well. So we quickly put ourselves together and took the decision to build that.
So this was end of October-ish or early November-ish, when not really sure now.
It was end of October.
So we decided to put up dormitories. Can you describe what we're building?
Yeah, so, the idea just was born out of what we saw, the kind of structures they had been occupying. So we thought that, why don't you upgrade it, make it more decent? So we have 2 units facing each other. Okay. Now these 2 units have 4 dormitories in 1 unit.
So 4 for 8.
4 in total 8.
Yes. And then the adjoining one is
in between the 2 you have the common areas for bathroom and toilets. So that's
so it's like a U shape.
Yeah, it's like a horseshoe.
So it's actually being shown.
Yeah.
So this is 4 weeks work.
Yes, 4 weeks work, yes.
Architect Grant, can you talk me through this because you've been involved in this? So what is this?
Okay, so this...
Yeah, it's in front of you.
This is actually the first design that we came up with when we were trying to get a decent place, as Samen said. So it's unit by unit, and we have 4 units in one whole block. So 4 units in one block, which is a sleeping area, and then they will go to the unit which is detached away from them. That forms the U to do the sanitary stuff. So each unit, each block has 4 units, and this unit, when they are no more using it, can be converted into a classroom block.
So this one, so the land was given to us by the school?
No, the land was given to us by the
community,
the chiefs.
The chiefs.
The chiefs. But the assemblyman is the one who facilitated this. He happens to be a member of the
schools,
the chiefs,
okay,
family. So it was
so this is the temporary solution for Tokpo.
Yes,
because of the humanitarian challenge they face.
Yeah, at Tokpo
in particular.
At Tokpo, for the surrounding areas.
Right.
Yeah. Now, when we are done, the building will now belong to the community, but will be owned by the school.
So that is clear. And this was the first place we decided to build.
That's correct. And this was made known to them by the DCE at the official gathering before work started.
So everybody's aware.
Everybody
that is not
aware.
A permanent residence.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. So are we done with the building?
We are. We just finished the roofing, electricals ongoing, other works ongoing. So we are giving ourselves another 1 week to round up everything, and then we'll do painting.
Wonderful. How big is the land? If just
okay, so actually they gave us 1 acre,
okay,
and then we use half an acre for the.
So there's a bit of space for.
There's a bit of space for other facilities.
How many people do you envisage can use this structure?
Okay, so each unit can contain up to between 25 to 30. So
okay,
meaning we are having if you are using 25, meaning we are having 100 on a unit, so 200 in
and there's enough space for those people to survive there.
Yes,
kitchen for them to cook, bathrums.
Yeah,
and
so
things.
we will put
open kitchen outside.
Open kitchen outside, but they have a bathroom which is properly done. Toilet.
Yeah.
Would there be a net, or what kind of windows are you using?
Okay, so for
yes, there will be nets.
There will be nets.
Yes.
Okay,
I see.
Actually, we're using design blocks. At the window side. Truth is, the original concept, which we randomly put a cost to it of about 200,000 per unit, was not what you see, because in my pedestrian thinking, I did a concept that would eventually look like a hen coop. As you say, because look, we are in a hurry. Let's do this. So just bring the block work up to this point and use wood and nets to cover the thing. And that's what I was telling him. I went to design something that he didn't tell me until they finished building. I said, but this is a full house, So obviously it pushed the costs up a bit, because as you can see, from that first level of the block work, then window, there's another round of concrete and block work up there, okay, and that comes at a real cost. So it changed the costing a bit, but not too much. This looks way better than what we initially set out to do.
Well, since we started from Tokpo, let's move on, and then we'll come to the final. Let's talk about Ada.
Yeah.
Ada was another place that we had gone. People from Highland communities have been displaced.
Yeah.
What was the thinking process, and what are we doing there, with whose collaboration?
Okay, Ada had a similar story to that of Tokpo. We had people from 32 island communities that had been displaced and put together, at the holding center, which was also a school. So we quickly liaised with the district chief executive of Ada, who together with the stakeholders, provided a place for us to put up a similar facility. Now, school has had to resume in Ada, and so some of them at the holding center have had to go back to their islands, and some are keeping up with friends and family. Okay, the islands are still is still not looking good. They are still not looking good. Some have lost their buildings completely. Even those who had block buildings, some broken, so they are just waiting for us to quickly fix this place for them so they can have something, a semblance of a proper life. Even if it's a dormitory, they are okay with it. So that's what we are doing. A similar thing we are doing in Adan at this moment.
Wonderful. We will show some of the shots from Adan for viewers to look at. But it looks like the district assembly was involved in this one.
Very much so. The district assembly is in charge of, they've worked with us. Every time we've been there, the DC shows up to be with us, inspect the project. I think so because the project is taking place right behind the assembly building, say 100, 200 meters. So you can always see it. She can always see it from her office, as she says. So it's going. They will start roofing next week with the Adan project.
Again, what can you say about the building in Adan quickly?
Okay, so this Adan project is also going to have the same function as the Topo. And when the people are sent back to the community, or when they get back life in their community, this facility is going to be turned into a training center where they train artisans and other people there. So the design looks similar, the orientation also looks similar, and we are on course with this design too, and then this construction too.
Let's talk about Pando briefly then, because apart from Adan and Topo, what is happening at Pando?
Pando has a very interesting story. The displacement is real, and it's more. I think it's more widespread than we first thought, and it's not going away anytime soon with the Pando one. So we have replicated the same dormitory type project in Pando. We are at the superstructure level, almost at the gable. By next weekend we should be done, ready for.
But what was the problem at Pando, Toko?
Displacement. He has been there.
You've been to Pando. So this is Pando Toko, the town that is beyond Pando, near the water.
Yes.
So what did you see then? What are we doing?
So they also have islands on the, islands close to the communities. And these islands have been washed up. So these people are living in the community with friends and family. And they don't have a decent place to. And because of that, it has created some kind of conjunctions in some of the rooms, and some people have to be forced and sleep outside the community centers and some other spaces that are around, and some classrooms are choked. So I went to Pando with another contractor. Then we went to get one plot of land. That situation, their land wasn't that big, and then citing the project in another place too will mean that we are going to completely lose from the people. So we have a site that is located right in the middle of the town, which is going to also be used for another vocational training facility. So the site itself presents an opportunity for vocational training, and the displaced people will be brought back to the facility when it is done.
So this is the Pando.
This is the Pando facility.
Wow, that's moving pretty rapid, because it started this, I think, 2 weeks after Topo.
I think 6 days work.
6 days work?
Yes.
So far, you're using normal concrete. Yeah. So far, it's like we are reacting to a problem, and therefore we are using what we have to do, what we have to do.
That's correct.
Wow, this is the point of view. We're trying to walk you through our rebuild component of the support flood victims. When we come back, we'll now tell you what we are doing in New Bakpa in Central Tong, because that's a whole different approach, because there's a partnership involved, and it's not building just emergency relief buildings. This is a whole community resettlement plan, which the CSIR and BRRI collaborating with us to do. So we'll come back and talk about that with my guest. Stay with us.
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. This Christmas, Pediassi Valley Resort brings you the sweet manger experience. Come in, have a feel, and let's treat you like the royalty you are with the best amenities we have to offer, from our exquisite suites to our luscious dishes, well-stocked bars, and reliable staff. We are ever ready to serve you. Relive the journey of the wise men at Pediassi Valley Resort Mini Zoo. Come with family and friends from the 24th of December till the 4th of January, as we have a series of delightful events that will leave you with lasting memories and a joyful heart. For reservations and general enquiries, call 0540-125-555 or 0540-125-554. Pediassi Valley Resort. Live life.
Are you ready to party? We're lighting up the city on the 24th of December 2023 with the biggest all-white outdoor party, Situation 2023. It's time to unwind as the year draws to a close with a mix of delicious cocktails, good food, and the best DJs to give you back-to-back hits to keep you on your feet amidst some incredible performances by the Chin Chin Band and not your regular DJ, DJ Mingo. The God MC Manifest, the dynamic duo Keche, the crooner Aquabua, the rap doctor Ochiame Kwame, and the spirit-filled Perez Music. Get ready to let it all down and party your stresses away on Christmas Eve at the Situation All White Outdoor Party. Date 24th December 2023. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all white affair. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973 for your table bookings and seats. Make reservations now and come have an unrivaled experience with the most extraordinary party to end all parties this Christmas Eve. The Situation All White Party 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM, and it's proudly sponsored by Chicken Grill, Bell Ice, Verve du Vernet, and Cartel Events and Rentals.
Now I don't tire. Now it's gone wahala. With this song, she dey give me pressure. Myself and the wonder.
Welcome back. So tonight on The Point of View, we're telling you a story of our rebuild efforts for the Relief for Flood Victims campaign. We started this middle of October. 3 communities are getting structures. Tokpo in the Shai Osudoku district in Greater Accra. Ada is also getting structures, as is Kpando in the Volta region. But New Bapa in Central Tong is a different situation. Just walk me quickly through what we are doing there, and then I'll let a doc explain the project itself.
Okay. So we went to Central Tong, and why did we go there? You know, upon numerous calls that we're having, people kept saying that, oh, everybody is going to Mepe, everybody is going to Mepe. So ours was, okay, let's look at the other areas that have been affected that nobody is really paying attention. And indeed, we happen to be the first group to make any interventions there. So we had gone there primarily to donate relief items to them. And when we got there, we got to know the real story of the Bakpa area, which they have suffered repeated cycles of displacement from 1963. And so they remain a very vulnerable community. But they actually told us that they don't have a holding area, the people are scattered in the community closer and wider because they are all interrelated. And but the problem is they do not think that we're going to have back their community anytime soon. And I'm referring to the island communities, several of them put together. And in all, the numbers would be in excess of 1,200. Doc, am I correct? Yeah, in excess of 1,200. So we thought that they didn't need a dormitory type. They just wanted to continue with their lives in a new location. And so together with the DC and the assemblyman, we met with the chiefs, and then they offered the land for us to try and, if you like, activate a new settlement for them. So this settlement would have key elements like market, like school, clinic, and all the other facilities. But seeing that we are just a media house, we reached out to the Building and Roads Research Institute of the CSIR, and they came in handy. They have partnered us, they have been with us. So all the technical work has been done by BRRR.
So Architect Dr. Joseph J. Dankwa, we went 2 weeks ago to New Bakba. You came with your team. What did you initially do? What have you been doing the past 2 weeks since we went there the first time?
I think for the first time, let me say, I must commend the entire City Group. The CEO is just working 24 hours. I don't think he rests. Okay, from that point. And the passion that, even before coming here, the passion that I always listen to Bernard, and then the plea for people to come and help. In fact, we're a media organization, but we are more than that. I see you as an all-round company. So at least humanity will recognize that. And I believe very well that it's going to be something that's going to last forever. Okay. And I was also happy because this is the first time I'm hearing about resettlement. Because most of the times when it comes to relief, it's all about the temporary. Okay, just to give them that kind of a temporary relief, and then maybe when the disaster minimizes or goes down, then they go back to their various ways of living. But I believe that this project is unique in its aspect because this spillage, as Sam was talking about, is not going to end today. In fact, it might be worse. And if you look at the way we manage spillage and disasters, then definitely resettlement was the best idea, of course. I mean, many people don't talk about resettlement because of the cost involved, because of the implications, okay? Because I think governments have tried. If you look at the Adan area and etc., with the sea, okay, encroaching on the lands and etc. But, you know, there's always that kind of sense of identity, okay, community ties to a place. Settlement actually grows over decades and sometimes centuries. So deciding to move a person from his place, okay, the route, becomes very difficult. So I was happy because I was, when I met you and then we went to the place, and the way the people were enthusiastic, okay, to accept this kind of resettlement, then you know very well, because that was key for the community itself to agree that we want to move away from where we are. Was a very key point, okay. So that was one success that you have already done in that aspect when it comes to resettlement schemes. Okay. So yes, it was good. We had that engagement, the first engagement, to look at the reaction and the dynamics involved in the neighborhood. We also took a survey in terms to look at the relief, to look at the topography, to look at the dynamics in terms of the land tenure in that space, okay, and then the size of the land. Okay. We saw that the land, of course, had no boundary. The one that was given to us had no boundary. It was mass. But we believe that we could do with about 25 acres. Okay, yes. But there are others that I was talking about in terms of agric, if they want to use it for farming and in future development, that comes in hand. But of course, we are dealing with 290 households. The demography shows that we are dealing with 290 households. Of course, many of them are the adult population. But if you look at the occupational levels, then you are dealing with people that have the base of agric. Farming and then fishing alone takes about almost 50%
of their livelihood, okay? But you have a chunk of them that are also unemployed, and some engaging in petty trading, etc. So all these things comes together for you to know exactly this is the community that I'm dealing with. Okay, it's different from having those kinds of temporary accommodation, because that one you don't think about anything. You are just providing a shelter for them, and later on they can find their own way. But these are people who are going to live a new life. Okay, so you think right from the child up to the adult. You think about how do they sustain even the community? What kinds of employment, what kinds of occupational levels can you engage within that community? Okay, and look at the community fabric. And this is the fabric I was talking about, where you look at what it is that the community itself identifies. Okay, this is whereby we are informed that there are 3 sub-communities within the community that we are developing this for. Okay, and each of them have various sizes. So even in terms of land allocation, it's different. You cannot have the same size as you give to Sapiti or Doglo or Pojo, from that point. These are the 3 sub-communities. And each of them have their unique system. Of course, they might be coming from the same root, but they have their unique way, because they all have their sub-chiefs.
Wow.
And therefore...
So you considered all of that?
Yes. So if you are developing, then you have to look at how you can do it such that they can live together as one, yet having their distinct way of life.
Actually, I didn't even know this. So there were 3 sub-communities. So did you go and do a survey or research? What did you do there to get all this information?
Yeah, this is when we talk about community engagement. You deal with the stakeholders.
All right.
Remember when we went there, we took the contacts of the various leaders, okay, and the community leaders, the assembly people, and the people who actually live within the community. So that is where we're able to get all this data. Okay, and that helped that in fashion out what is the best way of giving them this kind of master plan.
But you do recognize that we want to work with speed.
Yes.
Because there's an emergency, people have been displaced, and whilst I can see there's a very deliberate way you work as researchers, how are you balancing that with the need to do this on time? Otherwise the project can become useless, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we have not rested. I mean, for the past 2 weeks. I mean, you can imagine doing a master plan for 290 households, which over 1,200 people. Okay.
You want to build a house for 1,200? What is it?
If you don't plan for it.
Is that what you told him to do?
No, he says he's doing a plan.
A plan for 1,200.
The master
plan. Yeah.
Because it's a settlement, so you have to get that blueprint.
Okay.
And that blueprint is what is going to sustain. Because otherwise, you do it in a few space, and afterwards you go there, and that is one of our banes when it comes to Ghana settlement. Okay, because we don't take our time to actually plan, okay, for the future. So it's just immediate, on the spur of the moment. And so what we do at the end of the day is that you see that kind of haphazard development that goes on afterwards. So you have a community where you find just about 5% planned, but the rest are not planned. And this is what we want to avoid, okay? What will be the pattern when it comes to future expansion? What will be the place that has been designated for example, agriculture or other things? Otherwise, they will just take up the land and do as they wish, from that point. So you need to have a careful planning, a layout for them, and for which now each and every one can now assign to and then follow it up.
So do you have the plan for us? I think there was a certain... If you can show the plan, guys, we'll be happy. Or this is the
apart from the video, there was
a layout.
Yeah, we do have the layout.
Yeah.
All right. You don't have... Okay. So let's go through this first. So this is... Maybe let's show you this short video of what we are trying to do. Then we'll show the layout.
So these are the various housing typologies that we're talking about. The 1-bedroom house, the 1-room hall and chamber thing, and these are all incremental. Okay. We made it such that each of the 3 housing types are incremental, so as to give or afford the communities or the households to also expand. Okay, because we don't believe that their status will continue to be the same. Absolute. Okay, you may find the family members who have gone wherever it is to come and say, okay, let's put up another structure, in the space that has been provided.
So you find this as the completed typologies that you see with the color differentiation. Of course, it will change because it's not going to be that kind of all color, okay, when the application of the local material.
So just to be clear, this is houses for people to live in. What else?
Yes, you're going to have school, which will be from kindergarten up to JHS 3. Schools
as well?
Yeah. You're going to have a market. And the market initially is going to serve as more or less as a community center or a gathering space, as you see okay, on the screen. So this market has been designed such that it can be converted into a gathering space. Okay, once there is no activity going on, we can just use it for, even for Deba grounds. It can be used for that purpose. Okay, and then in future they may have their community center. There's also a health post.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have 3 types of housing. There's a single unit.
This one that you are seeing in the pink is the compound house. Okay. So you see the compound house on both left and right. You have the households. Okay. You have 6 on each side, and then at the back is where you have the shared facilities. You have the toilet, and then you have the kitchen. Okay, from that point.
So the pink one is the compound house.
Yes.
The yellow one is what?
The yellow one is one of the housing typology. That one is the 1-bedroom type.
And then there's also
we have the 2-bedroom type.
The 2-bedroom type.
Yeah.
Is that the white one?
Yes.
Walk me through it, Architect Alfred. So this is the 1-bedroom will have a toilet and bath, self-contained.
Yes, it's a self-contained facility. So we don't want a situation where who should clean what and who should take care of what in that kind of compound house system where maintenance becomes a bit of problem. So we want to have a facility where you own it yourself and then you take care of it and as he said, it's incremental. So as in when the generation is growing up, they can add up to the size of the house and then make it more convenient for them to support the numbers that they have.
Wow, I also see a market.
Yeah.
I saw a market. You are building markets too?
Yeah, we are building markets, and the market is a multifunctional.
Multifunctional market.
So like, as in when maybe at night and they want to hold some programs at night, they can use the market to kind of hold those programs at night. So it's a multifunctional market.
I understand we'll start with the market.
The building, yes.
Why?
The reason we are starting construction with the market is that a lot of the women who have been displaced from the communities, a number of them are traders. And in the process of moving or getting dislocated, they lost their livelihoods. No market, nothing. So they wake up and they have to just be there. So the idea is to get started with markets and get them something doing in the shortest possible
let their livelihood come back before you build the house.
And then we look at, because at the moment some of them are keeping up with friends and families.
So they still have a place to stay temporarily.
Yes.
So the market will be the first one. You also said something about health and school.
Yes, we have an idea of putting up a health post of some kind, but that's not been confirmed. Reason is that the adjoining village has a certain kind of health post. So we are still yet to determine whether we will look at the possibility of rather refurbishing that one so it will serve the whole community. But we have made space for the health post in addition to the school. So its market starts, and then some of the units for settlement will start, and then the next one will be the school, and then the others will follow.
Doc, this is about 20 acres of land, or 22 acres. I think
22.
You had the layout. I wanted to just walk through it. I'm trying to put it on the screen. I see school, park, market, health post, residential, major and minor road. I see ring road. I see green parks.
Yeah.
And wow, this is, so what concept is this? What's the name of what you are doing? What's it called?
I mean, it's a resilience and we call it resilience and sustainable community. Okay, in simple terms, that is what
resilient and sustainable community.
Okay, because we are even thinking about maybe in future, or if companies come on board, how are they going to, for example, inculcate solar? Okay, for the households. And I believe maybe if you talk to some of the companies that produce these kinds of things, they will be able to come on board in that aspect. How can they recycle waste, okay, from where they generate it, especially organic waste, and use it for the farming? That's why we provided that backyard garden, okay? So yes, in your organic waste, in terms of cassava peel, plantain peels, and etc., you train these people into how they can actually recycle some of this waste and utilize it, okay? So that it's not going to be all the same, now having a place that you are going to have a refuse dump, and then you have a management issue that comes into place, which becomes Herculean, okay? We are also thinking of putting a borehole, okay, so that they can have a centralized form of coming to fetch the water, not to pipe to their various households, but then a common point whereby they can come and then fetch the water to use. And these are some of the things that will make the community sustainable in that aspect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Samuel, this is massive. What costing are we looking at? Do you have a sense of what each unit will cost, for example? Because this looks very big.
Well, we thankfully, what they have done for us is to give us a wider plan for the community. Not everything you see in the video or the plan is going to be built immediately by us. Okay. But we are definitely going to start with something that can, if you like, bridge the gap for now. So some 10 houses will definitely be built in the next 2 months. The market will be built, and then others as our budget will permit. I mean, we have only depended on donations that have come in through individual radio listeners, TV viewers, and corporate organizations. So for what our first phase, we intend to use something in the region of 1.5 million to 2 million in the first phase to deal with all these things.
The first phase of this?
Yes.
What if somebody wanted to support and say, I want to build one of the residences?
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of the cost?
I do.
So is that the pink one? The pink one is a 1 unit.
The pink one.
Yeah.
The pink one is
the compound house.
Compound house.
This one.
Yeah.
The yellow one is the
yellow one is the 1 bedroom, and the white is the 2 bedroom. Okay.
So what's the unit cost of the yellow one?
The yellow one is the equivalent of $10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah, the equivalent of $10,000.
Is that fair based on your calculations? Because in affordable housing in Ghana, I hear $40,000 and $30,000.
Yeah, I think the minimum is around $17,000.
The minimum you've seen?
The minimum I've seen is around $17,000. And they use the square area, okay, to calculate, all right? And the ones that I see, even the new affordable housing scheme that they are doing, okay, you have the minimum of 32 square meters. And that one is costing around $15,000. And that one is where government is even subsidizing 40%. Okay, so if you look at even the real estates and etc. on the market, if you are looking for a 1 bedroom, then you are going for around $25,000 to $30,000. Okay, dollars. Okay, from that point. So if you look at this unit, then definitely you see that there is that kind of a huge.
So $10,000 per unit is fair to you?
It is fair.
What's the size of this unit?
And in fact, if you look at even the UN specifications, when it comes to affordable housing, okay, that it should be something that should not cross the 10,000. It should not.
So anything beyond 10,000 cannot be affordable?
It cannot be affordable, irrespective of wherever you are talking about, from that point. So always you need to do it such that it comes down from that point. Otherwise, then it's not affordable. It cannot be.
What's the size of these buildings?
Okay, so
44 square
44
meters.
square meters.
That's approximate. You
So
know,
that's the one bedroom size. We have 44 square meters, and then there is a 2 bedroom which is 59 square meters, and then the 1 bedroom incremental too, so 56. In that
see. And the compound houses?
The compound house, we have almost 914 square meters.
And that's for 12 households.
For
12 households in one compound house?
Yes.
Wow. You want to start with the market, and then you do the 1 bedrooms, and then you do the 2 bedrooms and a compound.
Yeah.
And the community will decide who lives where.
They will decide.
It's their decision.
The chief, together with the district assembly.
Then
they will decide, because they know the people.
Yes.
To be fair, they give a list of people displaced from the islands, and
That's
they have
correct.
reallocated them. What timeline are you looking at for this project?
We will have to hand over the first batch by ending January.
For the first batch?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of work, because we are in December now.
Yeah.
So we're giving ourselves 2 months.
Yeah.
But the overall project could take up to half a year.
Well, you know, we are thinking that we will just have to exhaust the money we have, and that will be it.
Then somebody can continue. But
no, they can continue based on the model that has been.
Can you explain? So is he saying that we'll do up to a point, but because you've made it organic, the community can use the layout?
I wish you can project some of this.
Yeah, explain it. It will be on the screen. So just explain it.
All right.
So
okay.
yeah.
So that is what we are saying, that you cannot provide for all, and therefore what you do is that you give the minimum, and that's what we call the core housing. Okay.
So in the diagram, the blue is the core house.
The blue is the core house.
And then the greenish thing is what?
Yes, the green is the plot size.
The plot size.
That's the plot size allocated to each household. Okay. And then the red and then the pink is the one that is the extensions. Okay.
So you do the core house for them. They can extend on their own.
That's the point.
That's
the point.
Wow. What materials are you going to use for this?
We are thinking of all the materials available, because what we have seen is that, for example, you may be thinking that brick might be cheaper, okay, in the villages. But then you look at the investigation and then you see that, in fact, even concrete block, okay, is even expensive over there than if you are buying it here, okay, in Accra. Because we did our investigation, then you are buying it around 8 cedis, 7 cedis, 50 pesos per one, you know, from that point. Brick is costing about 3 cedis, and some 3 cedis, 50 pesos, okay, which is even far higher than if you are buying it within. So we are looking at the dynamics of looking at how best we can utilize some of the materials. In fact, if it was not the kind of emergency, then the best would have been acquire the equipment, for example, for CEB, okay, compressed air bricks, which is easy to mold. Then we could have acquired the equipment, 1 or 2 of them, and then we can train the youth, which will take just about 2-3 days to train them, and they can mold the blocks, the bricks, okay, which will actually reduce the cost of the construction, because you might be avoiding about 50% of cement, okay, component within that structure. But because we are dealing such as you are talking about, this is a resettlement, but at the end of the day, it's still, people are still waiting. So we don't have ample time to wait for that long. Okay, so we are looking at how best we can inculcate all these materials, but also applying technology to it in terms of construction technology to reduce the cost. Okay, so we are employing all the techniques that actually bring down the cost of a building. Okay, so even in our design, at the start that, you know, most houses you find the rafters and purlins, okay, but this is just the rafters that have been put on it, okay, so you don't have a complex roof that will actually cost that much, okay. The ceiling and then the room height, okay, has been done so that it's standardized, and therefore you are not going to have unnecessary forms, okay, of built up in ceilings. So you see that the cost actually stems right from the design stage, the construction stage, and in the material application, okay, together with the project management. That actually is what reduces cost. So sometimes you may dwell so much on material cost, but if you are not careful with even project planning, you can still go on cost runs.
We're talking about the rebuild phase of the City Relief Campaign. My guest, Samalata Mensah, the CEO, Alfred Grant, graduate architect and architect Dr. Joseph J. Dankwa, who is the head of geoinformatics at the BRRI of CSR. When we come back, we will talk about what else we are doing and how replicable is this model for other situations. Stay with us.
Finally, anyone can become a house owner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hugo Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated funds, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.hugoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
Welcome back. This is the Point of View special edition focusing on our relief campaign for flood victims. 22 constituencies have received relief items. Just from off the top of my head, let me just try and you can correct me. Yape Kusou, Salaga South, Afram Plains North, Afram Plains South, Bando, North Dai, South Dai, Afajato South, Upper Manya Krobo, Shai Osudoku, Eswojaman, Central Tone, South Tone, North Tone, Ada, Angolon, Ketu South, Keta. Yeah, I think I have all. Have I forgotten anything?
Yeah, I think
I probably have. I don't know, but those are the places we've gone. Are you building anything anywhere else? Do you plan to build anything anywhere else?
Yes, we have an immediate need in Akating area.
Akating?
Akating, that's the
it's near Sesewa.
Upper Manya Krobo.
Yes,
yeah,
I know
Akating.
What do they need?
Look, the whole market has been submerged.
The whole market?
The whole market. The whole market is gone.
Wow.
And so ours is to build a new market for them. So they just located the land, which will be handed over to us next week, and then work will start immediately. So
that's Akate?
Akate, yes.
So that's a market?
Yes, a market, yes. That's a market, yes.
Wow. And it seems as if that, are you getting requests for other places?
We have requests every day.
For buildings? For resettlement?
Yes, we have. In fact, some MCs, DCs have called in. Some MPs have called, have written to us. And, you know, at times I look at the letters and I'm asking, how far can we go? You know, so the need is there, but we don't have all the resources. Having said that, we also do not want to put ourselves in the place of the local governments. You know, we are not government, we are not the local authority. We just provided a stopgap intervention for this, and we don't even want to make it our job of building communities in the manner that we have started. It's going to stop at some point, but it's a model that we believe that our society can replicate. NGOs can push it, CSOs can push it, churches can push it. Indeed, whilst we've been at it, some churches have donated heavily to this project.
Perez Chapel gave us...
Perez Chapel has given us enough money, totaling, I think, 250,000 cedis, thereabouts, if my memory serves me correctly, which is enough to have one huge unit. You know, Action Chapel Archbishop Duncan Williams. In fact, he was first to give us 50,000 Ghana cedis at a time when we had never even received 20,000 before. So it was huge at the time until others. But I must also say that there are organizations that have come on air and have made announcements about donations that we are yet to receive. So if we are able to receive all the ones people have promised, then it should take us far. It should take us far.
How replicable is this in other areas?
Oh, it's very because it's a practical way of solving issues and dealing with resilient settlements. Okay, so for this community, of course, it's not that it's so unique, okay, in that aspect, but for every settlement there are components, and that is what you use, and that is what you use to plan. Okay, so you see that the fabric of every settlement, you have the social infrastructure, okay, you have the community ties and identities, you have education, you have government institution that comes in if there is, okay, in that aspect. You have health facilities that needs to be built into place. And you have the businesses, okay, and then the other areas that are for recreation and etc. So these components are all in this kinds of a scheme. So it is very, very, I would say, very translatable, okay, to other areas. Of course, you might not find the same thing, but a similar way of planning. And that is what we believe in, because of the uniqueness of the various community in terms of even the culture. Because even in terms of culture, you have to look at the cultural adjustment. And I was happy because the people that hosted them are close to them. They speak their language, and that is very positive. Because sometimes the hosting community in itself has a different language from this, which becomes also problematic. So for this, I see it as a unique one, but all the components and the functions that needs to be done for a resettlement scheme, it is easily replicable to other areas. And I believe that this is where government should be looking at in the whole stretch of the Volta Dam area. Because trust me, the spillage will come again, okay, and the relief efforts will continue in this way. So we need to find a permanent solution to some of this.
Architect Grant, your own experience, how is this going for you as a young architect working with your former lecturer, I guess?
Okay, so it was a privilege to meet Mr. J. Dankwa, architect Dr. J. Dankwa again, and then start working with him. And it has been a very good lesson for me. I've learned a lot from even spatial planning and how to go about this layout, a whole layout, and its experience has helped me also gain some insight about how to deal with it going forward and how to come out with good designs and designs that solves problem but not gives another problem.
And you are working with contractors and you are also doing project management on the side. But you are much more than an architect. You are what are you? Because you look like you are everything. You are a development planner, spatial planner. You do geoinformatics. So what are you?
Simply, I'm an architect. I'm a builder.
No, but the kind of things you are saying, they don't teach in architectural school. The things you are talking about is development. You are talking about.
They always tell you that schooling, the knowledge that you gain, okay, in the university is just a tip of the iceberg. Okay, so from experience, from practice, okay, the added knowledge that comes on board, okay, is what I have acquired, okay. Some through quasi training and others through experience and then practice. Tell
me about the BRRI of CSR. What do you guys do?
Because the BRI was established by Kwame Nkrumah.
Oh, no wonder.
Yes, it was established by Kwame Nkrumah, then who wanted to have that kind of an institution that goes into actually building and road research in that aspect. Well, we started from, we were in Accra and then we moved to Kumasi because of the university to go and augment. So our spaces were in the university before we moved to the CSR campus in Kumasi
from that point. So our core business and our core aim is to come out with practicable solutions, okay, tailored towards the Ghanaian economy when it comes to building and road issues in that aspect. So that is what we are focused on and has been dealing with it right from the start. So our focus is mainly building and road. Anything that has got to do with buildings and road aspects. We research, we solve, we come out with solutions, and then we are supposed to just give it to industry to now uptake it in that aspect.
Wonderful stuff. Samens, thank you for being on the show.
Just a matter of interest that our one former Vice President, Dr. DeGraff Johnson,
yes,
the Vice President to Dr. Hila Liman, was one time director of the BRRI before he became
so he's also a scientist and a built environment specialist.
Engineer, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We've been speaking about our project that you have been supporting us to put up. We call it the rebuild phase of the Citi Relief for flood victims affected by the Volta spillage. We've been talking about the community we are building at New Bakba to house people displaced from the Abadiwokome Island of over 1,200 people. We are getting for almost 300 households. That's our flagship project that we are partnering CSI, RBRI to do. We also have structures in Tokbo, in Shai Osudoku, Ada, in Pando, and another one coming up in Upper Manya, with other places also in Tor. Samens, my boss, has been on the show, as has Alfred Grant, a young architect, supervised by architect Dr. Joseph Ejay Dankwa, the overall boss, head of Geoinformatics Division. In 2 weeks, they've done some amazing work. A luta continua until we get victory. We will not stop. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.